Let's talk journals. What I used in 2023, and I think I'm going to start with memory keeping. So this year I decided to try Hobonichi Weeks, to use it as a record of everything that happens in my life and in my kids' life. Before this, I used to do mostly my memory keeping would take place in my bullet journal, but I wanted to give it a try in this kind of format. And for my son, I had a 5-year journal, a Hobonichi 5-year journal. And I think this is one of the best decisions I made in regards to, planning, journaling, all of that. While I did enjoy memory keeping for my son in a 5-year journal, I do like to write letters. I do like to add lots of pictures. And inside a 5-year journal, I was being very cautious with the amount of pictures and tip-ins that I was adding, because I didn't want it to bulk up so much it would be uncomfortable to write in there. And I love the way this turned out. This is the One Piece edition, and I am in love with these collaborations that Hobonichi has done. I also got the navy blue One Piece Hobonichi Weeks that Hobonichi released for 2024. Absolutely love them. And I just watched the live action series that Netflix did on One Piece, and it actually made me very proud of choosing this theme for my son, because I love the philosophy of One Piece and the character Luffy. He's just loved him. So I guess for as long as Hobonichi decides to keep releasing their One Piece collaboration, that's going to be the theme for my son's Hobonichi Weeks. For myself, I do prefer a 5-year journal. Before this one, I was working with a DIY 5-year journal I did for my standard traveler's notebook. Loved it. I think I did 4 years in that one. And then I saw this Leuchtturm. It has more space, and I love this brand. I have mentioned this before. After working with a 5-year journal in my DIY project, I do love and I do enjoy so much seeing where I was on any given day a year before. I think it became very therapeutic seeing in those times where I feel like I'm moving very slow, or that I'm not having enough progress with my goals, personal development, seeing what I did a year before, 2 years before, 3 years before. It can be very powerful. So for myself, I do prefer these. And I mean, I'm not writing letters to myself. I have journals for that. I'm not writing lyrics in here. So the little space I have for every day is perfect. For my son, I do appreciate having that extra space to kind of have a conversation with my son. So that's memory keeping. Next, subject-specific journals. I do like a lot to take online classes and online courses. So many of the ones I have in here are subject-specific. On some classes, this is a media journal. I like to keep track of the news. This one is from online writing classes I've been taking. This one, as you can see, is on photography, some other online courses I have been taking, and some project ideas that I want to try, kind of concept pages of things I would like to try out with photography, that sort of thing. And this one is another online course I have been taking on justice. This is a course I found on edX, and I think those are all the subject specific ones. Oh, this is one is on art classes. What else? This one is for my morning pages. I was not as active as many other years with my morning pages, but that's fine. This one is from Gillen Leather. It's a Cosmo Airlight notebook. I have to do a video on this notebook. This is chef's kiss, the best thing that could happen to you if you like to write with fountain pen. I really recommend these notebooks from Gillen Leather. I'm obsessed. I'm halfway through this one, so this is all of this is 2023. I guess this is going to be 2024. But I will definitely get more of this. This has lasted a lot. It has 288 pages, so that's plenty. And I love everything about this notebook. How does it compare to the Tomoe River paper for fountain pen? This, definitely. The weight of these pages also, it has a very different weight and feel, completely different from Tomoe River paper, but in my opinion, it is worth it and it is pure joy. Just like my Gillen Leather Cosmo Airlight notebook, I can only say good things about this one. This is a German brand. I love that the design goes all the way around the notebook. It kind of wraps around the notebook. It is stitch bound. This is 120 grams, the paper. I have a review of this notebook in my channel, but basically anything goes in here. I started doing my vision boards in here, my intentions, pictures. If I see in the paper, you know, images of places I would like to visit, I cut them out and add them here. I do, you know, swatches. I guess everything. This is very playful, very experimental. Just, I'm like 2/3 in, maybe. By the end of this year, I'll be done with this notebook, but I'm in no hurry. I really enjoy working with this one. I guess on the subject of my everything journals, this one, I started 2024 with this Gillen Leather. This one is Tomoe River paper, 400 pages. This is another one that I have mentioned a lot. This is, I think, my favorite journal, you know, the brand, the notebook, or in my top 3 actually. My top 3 is this one, the Cosmo Airlight and Leuchtturm. Oh, and Moleskine is like very close. Anyway, I love this little guy. I always have a pocket notebook that comes with me everywhere, and I write all sorts of things, thoughts, ideas, planning. I add napkins if I went to a restaurant that I really liked and I want to keep that memory. I collage, I brainstorm, anything that sparks inspiration goes in here. I take notes on videos, you know. Anyway, so this is the one, the pocket version of that type of notebook, everything notebook that I worked with in 2023. This year I am working with a pocket Moleskine daily planner. I'm using it the same way I used this one, and I am having a lot of fun. But these Gillen Leather notebooks, and these ones with the leather covers, oh my god, the way the leather changes, you know, you can see the variations in color. This is a coffee stain, and the way the leather just wraps around the notebook, oh my god, I'm in love with this brand. I hope they never stop making notebooks, because I'm just a huge fan. I'm obsessed with these notebooks. So this is another one, another everything journal that I mentioned a lot is this Moleskine. This is a daily planner, a very outdated daily planner that I used as an everything journal. Again, lots of sketches, paintings, drawings, master lists, mind maps, planning, all of that went in here. And I had so much fun with this one. This one I finished it in 2 months. I got it by the end of September and I finished it by the end of November and loved it. So for December, same format as this one. I continued with this Leuchtturm. This one has blank pages, and again, all of these notebooks are brands that I love, that I have worked with in the past, and I right now at this point you're seeing only the things that I like to work with. And when it comes to my journals, I am very, very picky, because to me journaling is is mindfulness, it's an experience on its own, whether it is that I'm taking a class or sketching or memory keeping. Journaling is a moment for myself. It's a treat, and part of the experience is working with things that I enjoy holding and working with pages that allow me to try different media. And yeah, so Leuchtturm is one of those notebooks that I really, really like. It takes oil painting beautifully, gouache, watercolor, everything. So this was essentially the same as this one, but this is what I used in December. I also used this one as my bullet journal, but I wanted to start 2024, with a fresh notebook. It's an experience starting the year with a new bullet journal. I have tried it before in other years where I just carry on with the same bullet journal. This time I felt like I wanted to switch. I'm still using this notebook, but mostly as a sketchbook, and I think I will finish it as a sketchbook. When I like a notebook, it doesn't go to waste. I like to sketch, take notes constantly, so I know I will finish it. When I finish it, that's another question. So this is another everything journal. And because working with very outdated notebooks has really worked for me. I mean, this is basically a Moleskine expanded, and it was $10 at a local bookstore. So I got another one, I decorated it. I set up for January, but I'm not really here because I'm still working with this one. So for the time being, I think I will be working with these two notebooks. And once I'm finished with these ones, I'll move on to another notebook as my everything journal. This one I love. So I think this is the one that falls more accurately into the description of a commonplace book. It's supposed to be a notebook where you take notes on books, things that you find inspiring, quotes, you collect quotes, pieces of information. So this one is half journal and half commonplace book. The first pages I journaled a lot about the media I was consuming, TV shows, series, movies, my thoughts. I would add pieces from articles that I liked. So there's a lot of that in the first pages. Also cutouts from the local newspaper on things that I found interesting, and I write about why I found those things interesting. For this article, I found it super interesting, but I didn't have the energy to write it by hand, so I I printed out the article and here it is. I like having a margin because I use the main portion for my notes, like here. But I also like having the space to have a sort of conversation with the author. So that's why I keep these margins. This is strongly inspired. Oh my god, what's her name? I will link, you will see the name of the channel somewhere on the screen, and I will link her in the description below. I think she's an academic and she does a lot of work on art. She writes a lot about art, and her commonplace books, oh my god, they are works of art on their own. So she mentions how she uses the left side column for keywords, titles, terms. So that's how I've been also using my column. So that this is where I really started taking in some of the lessons she gives on commonplace books, and this has been super useful. So I keep keywords, terms I want to research, that when I'm finished with this notebook will help me catalog and find easily some of the things I have in here. But I mean, I have been enjoying this so much. And most of the notes I have in here by hand are from articles or texts I've found online on diary keeping and journaling. This isn't just something I like to do, this is also something I've been loving to study. The importance of diary keeping through history, why it matters, research on the benefits of writing by hand. If the author is mentioning another text, I add here reference and that other text. And I also add my own thoughts on specific paragraphs. So I just have so much fun in here. I like to pre-decorate my pages. These ones are from the Antiquarian sticker book. And at first when I got the book, I thought, oh my god, all these stickers are very weird. There were very few that I liked. But for these commonplace notes, I think it's perfect because it gives it like that vintage, feeling or vibe or mood. So yeah, that's what I have in here. And my baby, my treasure, my reading journal. This one is a Rotterfaden cover. I also have many videos on this system, on this cover. I have mentioned that this is one of my favorite A5 covers. Let's say out of 7 books I may read in a year, maybe 1 or 2 go in here. This is for books that I guess I want to study, and I approach them the same way I would approach a class maybe. And I work with 2 columns. So I use the left one to keep track of the page number. Then I write down a paragraph or more than a paragraph, or a section of the book that I found very interesting. And on the right side, I add my own notes. And this is the only one where the color stickers are very meaningful. That's because the whole point of this is to kind of cross-reference and find connections with other books I may read on a similar subject. I numbered my pages. This paragraph is related to something I wrote on page 35, so over here, and 50. So page 50 is already a different book, and it is On Truth by George Orwell. So in here have Road to Freedom, 1984, On Truth, Animal Farm. Here have some biographical information, and I left this one for extra reference material. So I'm still playing with this because this is something I want to study and understand more deeply. This takes years. I started working with this notebook, I think, in 2021. And it's an ongoing process because, I finish a book, I let it rest for some weeks, even months, and then I go back to the book, go through all the parts I highlighted, underlined, my notes, and then I decide if this is something I want to study or if I just want to leave it as it is. So it takes time, but it makes me very happy. I find this very, very fulfilling. You know that feeling when you're reading a book and you say, oh my god, I read this somewhere, or this reminds me of something I read on this book or maybe this one, but you're not quite sure and you want to connect those ideas that you're currently reading to something that you read in the past or something that you heard, and that need to connect ideas, that's where this that's the purpose of this notebook, really. So this one, like I mentioned, is political science. I need to update I do an update video on this system because I am adding more books over here. I already have decided on the books I read already that I want to add into this system. So this is my reading journal, and those are all of my journals. An extra is not a journal, but it contains journals. And I already recorded a review, but I haven't edited the video. Anyway, I guess I'll show it here. I bought the Field Notes box. It looks huge on camera, but it's not. I mean, this is a notebook. So as you can see, it's a little taller than the notebook, but also it's tall. It's big-ish. Here I have my field notes, and in here I keep anything and everything that sparks inspiration. So these black Moleskine Cahiers notebooks, these ones are for things I want to remember and reflect on, like quotes, you know, some paragraphs of the book, things I would really like to remember because I thought they were beautiful quotes or beautiful ideas. And I can collect them in here, and then I can pick one and carry this notebook with me. And when I have some time where I don't have anything to do, instead of going through my phone and my social media, I can go through some of the quotes I have in here. So those are the black ones. And the field notes ones are everything that I find inspiring. I like to write short stories, or just stories. I don't publish them, I write them for myself. So I collect all sorts of things that could be inspiring for stories. This is also a work in progress, and I am so excited about this. I'm just collecting things right now, and my goal is to fill the box with notebooks that contain ideas, things that inspire me, characters, places, worlds, and maybe write something or just enjoy the process of collecting these little pieces of made up stories and made up worlds. The field notes box comes with this to classify your notebooks. So you have your notebooks, they're supposed to go like this, but I don't think I have enough to have them standing. But yeah, they're supposed to go like this, and you classify them with these little cards. So these came with the box. These ones are mine, and I have them in here in case maybe I don't want to devote a whole book to something. I just want to collect a specific quote that I would like to remember. It goes in here. I mean, I will more than likely have it in my commonplace book, in one of my commonplace books or one of my journals, but I have them in here just in case. And this is my key. So I hope this wasn't all over the place. I just have fun with my journals, and I think that's what it should be about. Just have fun with the process of expressing yourself on paper, with your pen and paper, with your analog tools. And as long as you're having fun, as long as you're enjoying the process, as long as it feels like a moment of joy, those 15, 30 minutes, an hour you spend with your notebooks, I mean, that's a goal in itself. I hope you found in here ideas that work for you and for your system. I would love hearing back from you. Any comments, recommendations, ideas, please share them in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.